all of this, all of my equipment, I could have lost in an instant. All of it gone. So, a lightning story. 5 a.m. Sunday morning, I woke up to something I didn't expect to have happen. We'd had some storms, so I had kind of woken up a little bit with the wind, but 5 a.m., kerboom! You know, you're supposed to, see the flash and then count so many seconds or so many miles or whatever for the boom. Well, there was a flash and a boom, and it was all instantaneous. And then, bed's right at the window facing the machine shed, and the entire window is lit up with this like flash of lightning, but it doesn't go away. And all I hear is zzz, zzz, like electric current, like massive electric current. This kept going and going, paused once, and then going and going, and then it stopped. Silence. And boy, did that scare me. So then, things were quiet. I'm like, alright, we're still alive, this is good. And decided maybe I ought to go outside and check on things. And then the bull started mooing, so I thought, oh no, one of the cows got hit with the lightning or something. Well, I guess the bull was either mad or scared, and he was just out there mooing. So anyway, I got dressed 5 in the morning and went outside because I was sleeping beforehand, Went outside and checked and couldn't find anything. Went in the machine shed, turned the lights on. Lights work, so okay. And nothing, no fires, no trees down, so at that point we were good. So the first thing that we found was we were getting ready to go milk, and we got a automatic chicken coop door opener that opens and closes based on the timer. Well, the chickens weren't out of their coop, and boy were they mad because they were wanting to get out. So we found the power supply to that chicken coop door opener had been burned up, so I had to replace that quickly to get the door open, and that was the start of finding burnt things. Here's some of the damage that I've been finding. So first off, I had a very nice battery tender on one of my batteries, keeping it charged. It was plugged in. I don't know if you can hear the shaky, shaky, shaky like a baby rattle. I tested it. It doesn't work anymore, so it's got burnt up. Then we had the handy dandy trouble light over on the Fordson F that we were working on, and it was plugged in, and it's not doing so well anymore. It's passed away to the other side. It rattles a little bit too. The breaker had popped on the plug that this was plugged into, for obvious reasons. And this cover plate was new. This plug was new. This is where the trouble light was plugged into. As you can see, it kind of overheated and melted down and such. And I popped the breaker back on, and it shot fire out of it and such. So that was unpleasant. And it started to melt some of these wires here a little bit, so I had to cut them all off and redo them. Then there was another thing we found. So over on another wall, found this. And yep, there's a hole burnt into that. By the way, there's a hole in the wall too. I'll show you that in a minute. And so we replaced the plug, and you can barely see it, but right up in here is darkened black and stuff. This didn't have anything plugged into it. This was just at the end of the line, and it got replaced. And then I had a wireless access point out here plugged into my local area network, and I think that's how the electric went from the lightning, I should say, how it went from the electric wire to the Cat 6 cable. And this thing shakes like a baby rattle. as well, so it doesn't work anymore either. So over here we had this plug. This plug was originally over here, but it got moved after the lightning strike because there was an electric line that was running right here. The one I just showed you a minute ago that had a burnt hole in it, it was right here. You can see the hole that's been burned in the wall. Not quite the size of my thumb, but close enough, right? Nice burn mark there. So over here, this is where that trouble light was plugged in at. The trouble light was sitting on the Fordson. And right here is where it was plugged in at. You can see the new cover plate and plug that I put on there. You can see the burn marks from the fire that was shooting out of the trouble light as it tried to catch that beam on fire, or that post on fire there. Thankfully it didn't. Well, that got hit there. As you can see, it's all burnt. And then down here, right here, this took a hit. You can see it's burnt. And over here, took a hit. You can see it's burnt. And then up here, took a hit. You can see it's burnt. All those spots are where it was grounded, trying to find ground. Even though I've got proper ground set up on this box, it was trying to find a different ground. And that's where it burnt a hole out through the wall. Hole here, hole here. The other side of this is that electric box. So it burned a hole through where it was grounding out because the screw that mounts the electric box to that piece of wood was poking through there. So here we are up on the roof. You can see a burn hole right here. That one didn't burn, but it started to. See a burn hole number 2. Another arc mark right there. Burn hole number 3. An arc mark. Burn hole number 4. And then finally burn hole number 5 in the trim. Nice hit on the roof. So not only did we have lightning damage outside, we also had it inside. Basically all but 2 of my network switches got zapped. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 more network switches that got zapped. Sorry, 5 more network switches that got zapped, plus another access point that was plugged in that got zapped. And then that was in the garage and the house and the shop. And then in the chicken coop, this power supply here got zapped that opens and closes the chicken door. Not to mention a security camera in the chicken coop and at least another access point that I haven't taken down yet, and maybe another one. So we might have 2 more access points, but significant damage all the way around. So the question is, how did this lightning strike get into the power line and the network cable and all that good stuff? Well, I think I figured it out. So over in the corner there's the holes in the roof, you'll recall, and there's also holes in the wall. So I think it came into the roof, hit the electric line, came over to this electric box, and then went through actually 3 different lines. I had this access point here plugged into this plug, and into this access point there's this network cable that was plugged in. So I believe it came in through this box, through the electric line, out this plug. I need to replace this plug yet, I haven't done that yet. Then it entered the network via this fabulous access point / switch that I had set up. I went from the machine shed over to my shop, hit some more switches and such, went out the shop 2 different ways, one over to the garage and then one to the chicken coop. Where it got a camera and such. Then went the other way was to the garage. Went in the garage, knocked out those switches, went through that connection over into the house, knocked out a couple more switches in the house, fried my computer in the house, and fried a port on our router that connects us to the internet, and finally died. But I'm pretty confident that's how it came in here and caused just a lot of damage. What can a person do to keep this from happening? Well, that's a really good question, and I'm not an expert in this, but I'll tell you what I'm getting ready to do. So first off, in different buildings, I'm going to call them demarcation points. I'm going to buy a power supply that will protect against power surges, but also where you can plug your RJ45 cable into it. So I'll have a power supply, or power surge protector plugged into the outlet that I plug in my access point or router or whatever, or switch. And then I'm going to connect my Cat 5 cable or Cat 6 cable, RJ45 connector, into that, so that if I do get hit in a building, it might zap everything in the building, but in theory, the surge protector will keep it from leaving one building and going to another building. I've started that in the house already, and the garage and shop, but I haven't bought one yet for the machine shed, and I don't have an access point for the machine shed yet, so I'm okay right now. So we had the contractor, Miles Construction, came out and took a look at the damage. I wanted to see if we could get an estimate for what it would take to get it fixed. Had a really good conversation with him, and it was interesting. So they built a lot of metal buildings. I expected that he had seen this a lot of times. His comment to me was he's actually never seen a machine shed with holes in it like that from lightning that didn't burn down. So praise the Lord that the Lord was looking out for us and didn't allow it to burn down. Most buildings, when they get hit like that, they go ahead and burn down. Now granted, there's not that much flammable material in the machine shed, but still there's some. So we talked about it and took a look. He was surprised at the size of the holes in the roof. He was expecting big holes. He's like, well, this is kind of anticlimactic, right? It's not as big when we talk about the damage and all the electronic components that got burnt up and everything else that we've talked about. You know, the holes in the roof aren't that big. But it was the most interesting thing he got to see that day, so that was good. I was glad to help make his day more exciting that way. Have you ever experienced a lightning strike? What kind of damage did you get? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.